Hi YouTube. Today we're winging it. We have the Rodecaster 2 Pro and the Allen Heath ZEDi10. I want to compare and contrast these two mixers because I've been running with this one for the past year and a half. I love it, but I came in a situation recently where it did not make sense to have this, and I had to go with the Zedi10. So I want to create this video to show you an idea of where you might need one or the other and what to expect when you purchase these. So let's get into it. First off, you can tell big difference in the looks. This thing right here is absolutely gorgeous. Plastic, metal, nice touch buttons, connection ports all the way around. Beautiful, with a nice LCD touchscreen interactiveness. It is exactly what you'd want in a podcasting mixer. Over here we have the Zedi10. The Zedi10 is a lot different looking than the Rodecaster for good, obvious reasons. A lot of knobs compared to the Rodecaster. It took me a minute to get the layout of this board. I will say if you're not an audio engineer or have experience in that department, this will be intimidating at first, but you read the user manual, life will be a lot easier. Also made out of plastic, mostly plastic, some metal. Has same amount of weight, but this is significantly higher, and this is meant for a more live production setup. All right, going over price. This one, I got this as a trade-in for a drone. I had a DJI S2 or 2S. I traded this in for the Rodecaster plus 4 microphones. It was a full Zoom podcasting setup. I want to say this was just this alone was $699 plus the other headphones, again more like $1,000. This guy over here, thankfully, was like under $300. I think I paid like $250, $270 with tax, and it has it's a great value buy. I'll say that for sure. All right, so over price, we have looks. Like I said, this is beautiful. This is also beautiful, but a little much. This isn't as sexy as this guy over here. Going over to inputs, we have, start with the Rode first. 4 XLR 1/4 inch inputs. We have microphone icon, instrument, and line in. So you can either plug in a XLR microphone here and then a 1/4 inch guitar jack here, and then play your outputs via the 2 1/4 inch outs and monitor them with one of the 4 headphone jacks. This is pretty standard for a podcasting setup, which makes it a podcasting setup, of course. All right, moving on to the Zedi10. Pretty similar in the input capacity. We have 4 XLR inputs and 4 1/4 inch inputs, 2 of which are line instruments. So all you'd have to do is select that instrument icon and it boosts the signal. So you just plug and play a electric guitar or acoustic guitar, anything like that. Additionally, we have a 1/4 inch input for a lot of things. You can do audio playback. You can have another line in. You could, for example, put this into this guy so that you have your microphone mix over here, plug it in this one, and mix that in with the rest of your mix. And then we also have this input right here. This is our audio interface. This interface itself is a 4x4, which gives us 4 ins, 4 outs that we can use for audio recording. For example, you can probably see right here, I am using the Zedi10 to record the audio for this mix. I'll do an audio test of this guy so we can kind of compare the difference of what those two sound like based on just general gain levels across the board. This does have a low pass filter, which also this one does. I will say when we're going back to the Rodecaster 2 Pro, this is not an on-the-fly device. You have to know where things are at all times and have the time and due diligence to select what you want accurately. Effects on this board are really easy compared to this. For example, if I want to include a low cut filter, all I have to do is press that one button, boom, we're going. Alternatively, on the Rodecaster 2 Pro, if I want to turn on the low pass filter, I had to select the channel, see channel 1 selected, then hit the low pass filter, and then set the Q to where I want us to do like 100 hertz right there. Fine. Change this. It does give you more flexibility and more customization, but it takes longer. Moving onwards, if we continue down, we have a 3-band EQ that we can do the low filter, mid and highs, and then the highs for each channel. On our stereo channel, we only have the high and low pass, no mid, but we still have both aux sends, so that's good news there. On this one, Rodecaster 2 Pro, if we were to go ahead and do that, let's go to channel 1 again, and let's go to EQs. No. Noise gate, compressor, equalizer. So, like I'm pointing out, you have to individually go and edit each single one across the board and know exactly what you're doing. And I'm even trying this right now, and it's kind of confusing myself. This is kind of a set and forget situation. You get the point. Oh, there you go. Mid. There you go. And then if we did high, selecting the high gain, level it out. There you go. So a lot easier to manipulate the audio on the fly as you need it. This guy is more of a fine tune, leave it in the corner and just ready to go. I will say, going back to this, if we wanted to, we have different presets that we can choose from. Different microphones, different inputs, line in, for example, instrument, condenser, wireless, public, and it has different sound effects that all these effects and processes are already fine-tuned for that one setting. So that does make it different. That does make it easier to use, but you don't get as much fine motor control as you would on this guy. All right, moving on to inputs. Let's start with the Rodecaster 2 Pro. The Rodecaster 2 Pro has 4 XLR inputs, all of which are 1/4 inch as well. You can take your microphones, instruments, so on and so forth. We have 2 1/4 inch outs for left and right monitors, 4 headphone jacks for podcasting, and then this is what makes the Rodecaster 2 Pro what it really is and why it stands out above anyone else. It has 2 USB-C audio interfaces. So, for example, one is main chat. I can put this into my computer, and that will become my audio interface that my audio interacts with. And alternatively, if I wanted to, I can send that signal to a different computer, and that could be my live stream computer, and completely separate the two and feed both back and forth. So this is really what makes the Rodecaster 2 Pro so appealing to a lot of podcasters, live streamers, so on and so forth. And of course, we have the micro SD card for direct recording in the device, and then an RJ45 for internet connectivity. So that's what we have as far as the inputs on the Rodecaster 2 Pro. Going over to the Zedi10, it's similar in the main inputs. We have 4 XLRs, and then we have 4 1/4 inch for our main, 2 of which are line in, so you can easily plug in an instrument and get quality audio from that. It also features a stereo in channel that takes 2 1/4 inch inputs. You have a 2-band EQ on this one, but still all the same knobs across the board. And over here, this channel, this is our audio interface, similar to this. This one just has a USB-A connector. This one is a 4x4. So if we see real close, you have the ability to do inputs 1 through 4, the main inputs left and right, and the aux sends if needed. So a lot of customization there. As you can tell, this one has a lot more inputs, hence the reason why this is a live soundboard, not this guy. We also have 2 RCA ins if we want to go ahead and do, I usually put podcast audio, not podcast, music playbacks on this one. So for the house, send it off for them to listen to. Or you can use this to pipe in music to your main mix. And that gets us to our main mix portion. Talking about outputs. So on the Zedi10, we have the main outputs that should be on a live board. We have 2 XLR outs male and female, left and right. And then we have an aux out and then an FX out. These are the standard outputs for a live board. We also have a headphone jack over here to monitor your headphones. Right here is your monitoring for each channel. I will say this board does not have a mute function, which I wish I had. This one does. And we do have I don't want to do that. You'll lose my audio. Yep, lose the audio. Whoop, 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 whoop. We're back. This is the main mix fader. I'm glad to have a single fader on here. It also includes a headphone jack and headphone knobs for monitoring. Whenever I use this for audio playback on the channel, I use this feature to listen to what's going on my end. This is the monitor output to manage the levels and also change where the source is coming from. And then we have the aux master for our aux send. Overall, both great mixers, different use cases. So let's talk about some features of each and then go into what the use case is specifically and what ranks for each one. Over here, the Rodecaster 2 Pro, like I mentioned before, the biggest feature it has is the two USB-C outputs. For example, over here, I have, you see real quick, it says Rodecaster Pro II chat. So this is one virtual channel. The other virtual channel right here is called the Pro II main as the output device for your computer. So if I'm playing, let's say, Call of Duty, the input from my computer goes into this and out to be recorded or live streamed elsewhere. If I wanted to, I could use that second USB-C and send that audio to a separate computer that I might be using for my live stream, or vice versa. What I've always used it for, these two channels, is one is going to be, let's say I had Discord chat. I had this level as my Discord chat, and this one was my gameplay. So I could easily go back and forth and level out as I needed. It was nice to have. Did I use this as much for podcasting? No. Was it used for recording videos like this? Absolutely. Other features this device have is of course, touchpads. Everyone likes some RGB touchpads. You can see over here in the right-hand side, you have different pages to choose from, 3 pages. First page, we have sound effects that play out. These can be customized. You want your air horn, there's your air horn. You want your podcast intro, there's your podcast intro. On page 2, this is kind of gimmicky, but I've used it a couple times for like trolling and whatnot. You can change the output of your voice. So this could be, let's say, a more high-pitched or a darker toned voice, a megaphone voice, a monster voice. It adds some. It's a gimmicky it's a gimmick in my mind, but you know what? To each their own. This knob is controversial for me because you have the ability to select and manipulate effects and different inputs, but also it is your main output for your 1/4 inch. Features on the Zedi10. I'll be honest, there really isn't much in the case of like this guy. Of course, you have your 4x4 audio interface out, which is fantastic. I'm using this right now to record this video. But other than that, there's no bells or whistles. There's no touchpads. There's no LCD screens. And it's reflective in the price and the use case. In a live setting, you don't need all this extra to make the sound happen. You just need it to work and work well, which this mixer is great at. So, use cases. Let's talk about use cases. Why you would need to use this or vice versa. All right. So let's say the situation is you are a podcaster, you are a live streamer, and you're going to be at your desk with your setup, and you need to record your voice, record your gameplay, and potentially have a Discord chat that you want its own level for. Nice to have. You want the Rodecaster 2 Pro. Because of the ability to change your inputs and outputs with the USB-C, you have the ability to set and preset your inputs as you wish, and this would be kind of a set and forget situation. You can fine tune it as you want. set the de-esser, for example, put a noise gate in. This is a set and forget situation. Let's say you're a podcaster and you have 3 guests, one of which is a caller. You can connect your phone to this unit, and that can be used as another input for this to be recorded directly to your device. No, recorded to your software or on the device. Good thing to have there. You could use the Zedi10 for a podcasting setup. I don't see why you wouldn't. You have 4 XLR inputs. You will be missing the individual headphones for each listener, but you could split that up to at least 2. Let's say you have yourself on phones and then aux out for another guest. And you can also, in theory, plug in your phone to this and record directly into, send your input directly to the channel. From there, record that into your DAW, and you'll be cooking. This is more of a, like I said, live studio production. I'm an audio engineer. I know what's going on. This is a consumer-friendly set and forget, fine-tune, go from there. So if I had to pick podcasting, this would be your holy grail with the USB-Cs, the 4 individual channels for monitoring, and the 2 virtuals you have, plus your sound effects. Podcasters, go with this guy. You want it. That's not saying you couldn't do it with this if you wanted to. It would be a little more complicated, but absolutely doable. All right, let's go to live use case. Perfect example is I had a small conference. I had to do 2 main outputs, and I had 2 microphones and some playback audio for a group of people. I could have done it on this, although it would have been more complicated because of the IOs that we have here. There was no XLR. I would need converter after converter to make this work. And the running, gunning, on the fly, fine tuning that I would need for an audio channel or a microphone channel would not be possible on this. If I got feedback on this, I would be screwed. This guy, I can fine tune, I can turn it down. There's multiple things that can happen in one go. I gotta stop touching this. I keep touching it. Whoop. I keep touching my headphones. Hold up, let me. Now I gotta test this myself. All right, mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check. 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 All right, mic check. All right. That just gave you kind of a real world example of what on the fly mixing looks like. Yes, so going back to it. Live use cases. I had 2 outputs, 2 microphones, and then live audio playback. This could have done it. The Rodecaster Pro could have done it, but with the amount of conversions I will need from the 1/4 inch to XLRs, the XLR runs, and then plugging my computer into the USB-C, that would have been fine. But if I had to edit, stop this. If I had to edit a channel on the fly, do some fine tuning with the EQ, stop some feedback issues, I would not be in a good place with this. This one, on the other hand, you have your 1/4 inch outs, which are made for live sound, your aux outs, your FX outs, your inputs for live audio playback. If you wanted to go RCA, you could, or plug into your computer and let that be your audio playback. Absolutely doable. Absolutely doable. And you have the added benefit of on-the-fly fine-tuning. Now, let's go to the studio recording. What would that look like? Let's say, for example, I own a small recording studio. I need to track drums, track vocals, send it out, add effects mixes, all that fun stuff. You could do some of that here, but it wouldn't be as good of quality with this. In my personal opinion, I don't know this for certain, but this audio input just sounds better than this for some reason. I don't know if it's the preamps that are in each channel or the way it's filtering the audio, but this is made for a studio recording setup. This is made for run and gun podcasting, gameplay, live stream. And the price difference, this is $400 more, in my opinion, for gimmicks and RGB. The only thing this thing has going for it is the 2 USB-Cs. But if the 2 USB-Cs are what you're looking for the $400 difference, go for it. If you got the money to spend podcasting, this is what you should go with. But for the more budget-friendly, the more live situation use cases, this is your man. All right, let's try a sound test, see what that sounds like. So right here we have the Rodecaster 2 Pro. I am using the dynamic setting for this recording directly to the device that's already in here. I'm at Unity right now, 45 decibels, and then we're processing all the way through. Okay, so this is what it sounds like. Mic test 1, 2, mic test 1, 2, audio mixer, mic test, studio recording, mixer, mic test. Just some ramble to get our level set. Now, I'm going to change this up and we'll go to a different mic setting. All right. So this one is a lot hotter than... Actually, let me go ahead and monitor this so I give the right... All right. There we go. So, now I know I'm hearing equality. I'm hearing it properly because I have 1, 2, 3, 4. These are just the preset values. I could go ahead in here and change the presets for the low filter. Go to high pass, de-esser. De-esser. Oh, that's too much. Hello. So that is the microphone setting with the SM7B. Let's go back and test the dynamic microphone. All right, this is the dynamic microphone setting. Definitely a little bit different sounding than the other preset we had, but you can see where the difference is and how that changes. Like I said, foundationally, you cannot go wrong with either one of these. At the end of the day, one is a lot more expensive than the other, so it's up to you what you want to spend. Do you need the USB-C features? Could you be without them? Do you want the RGB touchpads? Could you live without them? Do you need a live setting? Is there any possibility that you might need a live setting board? Allen Heath. Can't go wrong. It's a reputable name. People love them. People also hate them. Personally, very happy with this. I'll be letting this guy go for my own use cases. My own reasons, not use cases. And I'll be sticking with the Zedi10. Going from there. Thank you guys and ladies. This was the random out of the blue recording. Second video. Hope you guys like it. If we like this, out the box, random talking, discussing, let me know. Go from there. Appreciate it.